Welcome to Unit 5, Video 4. This is the final video in the Byzantine Empire unit, and this video is focusing on the spread of Eastern Orthodox Christianity north and east into Russia, largely. So we've talked about the Germanic tribes who have invaded the Western Roman Empire already. Around 800 AD, Vikings from Scandinavia moved into modern Russia and began to mix with the native Slavic people. Slavs are people who originate from Eastern Europe in the area north of the Black Sea. So this is part of those Germanic invasions. The Vikings were fierce warriors, but also excellent navigators and merchants. Vikings traded along the rivers of Russia south to Constantinople. So we have Constantinople here. I apologize for the blurriness of this map. This is the Byzantine Empire down here, Constantinople. This is the Black Sea. And so trade routes are going to run north and northeast here. Or from Russia, they will run south into Constantinople. Viking longships were strong enough to travel on the ocean, but shallow enough to travel up rivers. So this gave them a big advantage in terms of military and trade, but it allowed them to get a lot of their people onto land quickly, which allowed for essentially surprise attacks to be able to take over different regions or cities. They traded cloth, furs, metal bars, timber, and slaves, taken from the word Slav. The Vikings and Slavs merged into modern Russian groups. So the Vikings moved into these areas, and the Slavs, the people who were living there already, they kind of lived together, and they merged together. Russian kingdoms were later controlled by Tsars, sometimes spelled with a T, sometimes spelled with a C, mean the same thing, with the help of the boyars. Boyars are land-owning noble class in Russia, and a Tsar is the emperor of Russia. So the Russian kingdoms, where we see the merge between the Slavs and the Vikings, are going to evolve into leadership by a Tsar, and boyars, who are the upper class, who own a lot of land, who are going to help keep control, basically, in the Russian kingdoms. In the 800s, Saint Cyril and Saint Methodius went to the Russian territory to convert people to Orthodox Christianity. So if you remember from our last video, the Byzantine Empire practiced Greek Orthodox Christianity, and the areas of Europe and Northern Africa were more in terms of the Western Roman Catholic. So the Byzantine Empire, who practices Greek Orthodox Christianity, that is where we're going to see St. Cyril and St. Methodius, and they are going to take that information, they're going to take it with them to these Russian territories, to these Russian kingdoms, led by these Tsars, and these saints are going to spread the word of Orthodox Christianity into these Russian territories. They developed an alphabet, which ended up being called the Cyrillic alphabet, for the Slavic language. This helped Christianity spread more quickly. So this language is going to be a way for St. Cyril and St. Methodius to better provide the information about Eastern Orthodox Christianity. A common language is going to allow easier spread of religion. And so they developed this alphabet that is going to allow the easier spread, the easier transfer of information. And Cyrillic alphabet is named after Saint Cyril, one of the two saints who helped spread Eastern Christianity, Orthodox Christianity, into these Russian areas. Russian culture, religion, art, and architecture is a combination of Byzantine, Slavic, and Viking backgrounds. So we already talked here about how the Slavs were living there, the Vikings came in, they merged some of their ideas and the way they live. And then we now see Byzantine influence as well. And so the Byzantine Empire isn't going to just influence in terms of this religion, but also culture, religion, or culture, art, and architecture as well. So Russian culture is a mixture of all three of these backgrounds. And you see that in the architecture, you see that in religious images, and you see it in similarities in a lot of the buildings and ideas that were presented in Russia. That's the end of the final video of this unit.